My name is Mrs. Kate Eddy Itama, the CEO of First of Kate Cake Shimogara, Port Harcourt. Once again, you're welcome to our online watermelon cake class. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a little introduction, to give you a good idea of what we're going to be using for this class. Okay, so now we have our red velvet cakes. Okay, I just added some raisins. That's what we call fruits, what we normally call our fruit cakes. Okay, I added some raisins in it, okay, to give me that sip effect in my watermelon cake. Okay, all right, so this is a size 7 round, size 7. Why this is actually a size 6 on top, but I made it out of plates. Now this is the stainless bowl I use in baking this. If you have a ball pan, football pan, okay, you can make it a football pan, or you can easily get this stainless bowl from where they sell plastics, okay, wherever you're watching from. Okay, then we have our rolling pin, we have our fondant, we have our corn flour. This is what I normally use to roll my fondant, okay, so it doesn't stick to my table. Then we have our dough rod cutter, our dough rod, our smoother, our brushes, okay, our color, indigo color, our green and yellow. We have our vodka. We're going to use it to paint. We have our pizza cutter, okay. So that's that. And we're going to use one to paint. We're going to put our vodka and our color here to paint, okay. So that's that. So we're going to be trimming now. Okay, so now we want to trim our cakes, okay. Now I'm going to start with 7-inch cakes. Just level this. So you see, we're having our seed effect already. Okay, so when we trim the cake, it's over that we're having our seed effect. Okay, now I might also decide to trim under the cake, okay? Because I want everywhere to be red, so red. Okay, so that's why I'm flipping over. I'll just trim it a little. I don't want any darker red shade, okay, when we trim. So it looks as if it's just one cake. You see, I'm just trimming this out. So you see, I'm going to flip it back. Like I'm going to put this, I'm still going to flip over first, or I can just trim it here. I'm trying to remove this darker part. You know when you dust your pan, when the under part comes out a little bit having a darker shade, okay? So I'm just trying to trim it. I want to have even color. Okay? So I'll just put it in our level. Red velvet cakes, they are very soft, so you work with care. And like I said in my other online advanced classes, I don't put buttercream between my cakes, okay, my layer cakes when I'm working on fondant. Unless I'm working on buttercream, I have reasons for that, okay. So I'm just going to trim this top part a little. Just want to remove these darker colors out. Okay, I'll just put my top. So what I'm going to do next now is to trim to give me my watermelon shape, okay? Alright. Okay, now see, we're about to trim, but first I want to tell you something. Now when working on any cake, okay, mostly if it's not the usual pattern of cakes, okay, make sure you are following a guide, okay? Make sure you are following a guide. Now, what I did was I downloaded a watermelon. You see, a real watermelon. You see it? This one is standing, do you understand? This one is actually not standing, but we're going to be doing something like that is standing, okay? So this is what we're going to follow. So this is what we are following. Whenever you're doing anything, try and follow a particular thing, okay? Make sure you have a guide, okay? Alright, so I'm going to be trimming now so that you see the under part. You understand? Now you see we're going to be having a good watermelon shape before we start decorating, okay? So we're going to be trimming now. Okay, so now we want to trim. Now this is what you do. You see what I did? My serrated knife is not straight. Because I'm looking for a straight shape, okay? So I'll just do like this. Trying to blend the top first. See it? Make sure it's not strong. I'm trying to blend this stuff first. If I decide to place my knife like this, I'll just spoil what we're looking for. I'll spoil the shape of the watermelon. Or better, it will give us what we're looking for. Okay, so now you see what I'm doing. See, just the way I bend my knife like this, I'm bending it like this now. Not too deep. Bit by bit. Don't be in a hurry. So we're already getting there. Okay, just going to touch the other part a little. I said bit by bit. So you check. Okay, so I think we have our watermelon shape. Okay. So what we're going to do now is just to crumb coat, okay? And we'll get back to you guys. Okay, before crumb coating, please, there's something I forgot to say. Now remember, we have to trim this part, okay? If you notice, the shade of this damp part is brighter than this one. That's because we've not trimmed the body of this. You know, like I told you, when you dust your pan, when it comes out baked, it comes out with a darker shade, the one that is close to the pan, okay? So I just want to trim it so that the color will be. So by the time we cut our watermelon cake, discover that it's actually looking like watermelon and every part of the body is actually having the same color. So I'll just gently scrape this part out. You see, so we'll have a very bright red color. I'm not really cutting, I just want to peel it out, okay? Just remember, when I wanted to crumb coat, I remember that I didn't show you guys this part. I'm just trimming it out a little. I'm not really cutting deep. I don't want to spoil the shape of what we've gotten. So I'm just taking it off. So I have a blended color. So I'm just going to compose, okay? I'm just going to compose. I'll get back to the other one. Okay, so we're done composing our cake, okay? Alright, so this is my fondant. I'm just going to knead a little, okay? Then I'll roll to cover the cake. Now remember I told you we're going to make use of dough rod. Now see, I'm not going to do all this cake because it's not going out. I'm actually doing this cake because of this class, this online class, okay? I mean, for a client, maybe because for a client, I would have dual the cake so that it doesn't collapse when they are moving it, okay? Alright, so you know how to do, just put, maybe it depends on the size. I can make use of just one because this one is a big cake. If it's a bigger size, I'll make use of two, okay? So that just you then use your dough and cut, your dough cutter and cut, okay? I'm not going to do all the cake because it's not going out, it's going to be here. So I'm not scared of like it's moving about or collapsing, okay? Alright, so this is the fondant. I'm just going to knead. Trying to form my ball shape, okay? Okay, so now I'm just going to roll. Now when I'm rolling my fondant, I flip over. Now this is going to be my top, okay? So I'll flip over now. What I'm doing that is because I'm trying to avoid hair pockets. So some fondant having holes, you know, so I try to avoid that. So I'm going to roll like this till I'm ready to begin. So I'll just be rolling. So when I'm done rolling, I'll get back to you guys. Okay, so this is what we'll have after rolling. Please make sure your fondant is thick. You see, my fondant is thick. You see it? How thick it is. Then you might be wondering, okay, how do you know that this one is actually enough to cover this? Now, this is what you do. You measure. I've already measured my cake. It's giving me 17. From here, you measure down to this part. Okay, that's like from here to here. Giving me 17. Okay, so now I have you say I have almost 19. Same thing. Okay, so I'm very sure to be enough. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pick my rolling pin. In my cake. Drop. Now I'm going to gently push. Maybe you're smoking now, just put cornflour so it doesn't stick. You see, you're having excess. So it's better you have excess than not having enough. So you just use a pizza cutter, shrink. Okay. So just push under. So use your smoother, trying to hide the part under. So you just smoothing. So this is what we have, okay? We have our watermelon sugar. So now we want to go into decorating it properly, like, you know, painting, so it will give us the watermelon shade, okay, like looking like a real watermelon, okay? So we're going to be painting, so we're ready. We'll get back to you guys. Okay, now this is what we have. Okay, now we want to paint. These are stainless steel, our vodka, our brush, our green color, leaf green, any dark green. Then this are yellow color. Okay, we're going to put a chop of yellow for the first shade. Okay, now this is what we want to do. If you see, this part is actually lighter than this other part. Okay, so we're working on that part. Now just put a drop of yellow in my green color. Okay, and something else I also do when I want to paint on the cake, I don't just paint directly on the cake or a customer's job. I first of all make use of a fondant, just cut any fondant and test it Like check it first, be very sure that's what I'm looking for. You understand? I don't start painting, it's too much, I'll start looking for how to remove it. No. I'll just paint here. Okay, now is this what I'm looking for? Yes, and I go ahead and paint, okay? So now I'm going to start with we need a very light shade, okay? So I'm just going to start with green. Let me just break that. See the green we have? This is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to just tint it down a little with little drop of yellow, because the first shade I'm looking for is not this green. So you see it's actually changing. Okay, so you see it's a little. Okay, I think that should do. Okay, so I'm going to make sure the yellow is dissolved inside. So I'll just check. Okay, you see this is all we have. So I'm going to start painting now. You see the shade? It's not looking so dark, okay? You can mix with yellow. This is for the first shade. So I'm just going to paint the whole part of the problem. I'm just going to paint around, okay? So when I'm done painting around, I'll get back to you guys. Okay, so this is what we have after painting, okay? Okay, so now I'm going to add little green to this particular one, okay? I want to put some patches like dot on the body before doing the main green, okay? So I'm just going to add, I'm going to break this skin one because this part is yellow. I don't want yellow anymore. So I'll just add little green. Okay. I'm just going to cut another fondant. I want to just do patches. If it's looking too dark, I'll just add a little bit cut to it. Okay, so I think I'm okay. So I'm just going to do patches. Now this is what I'm going to do. I'll move it out. You know, watermelon normally have spots. So I'm just going to do this around the whole part of the body. So this is what I'm going to do. See? No particular formation. So when I'm done, I'll get back to you guys. When I'm done doing the body, okay, I'll get back to you guys. Okay, so this is what we have, you see. We've done two level of painting. The first one, lighter green with a mix with yellow. We've added the dots to it. Now, so we want to do the last part of the painting, okay, which is this thicker green lines, okay. So we want to get a very thick green or a very dark green shade, okay, of our vodka and color. Now to put our big lines, okay. So that's what we're going to do now. So I'm just going to add more color now to this. I need to be very dark. As dark as possible. I think this should do. I'm still going to check it on my fondant. Just yes, this should do. So this is what you do. You just take so you just match it and you try and make it rough. Because if you check the watermelon, the real watermelon is usually not smooth. I'm just dabbing it with my brush. So this is what you do. You understand, around the body. Okay, so when I'm done doing this, I'll get back to you guys. Okay, so this is what we'll have, you see. After painting, this is what we'll have, okay? So now we have to do this top. You know, there's something that is called knob, I don't know what they call it anyways. You get to the bottom, there's something here, like brown, you know, here. So that's what we want to create now, okay? Just use the white fondant. First of all, you can take your brush, the tip, the mother part of your brush, anything, to just create where you want to put it first. You know, just like press it. I'm just trying to create where I'm going to put it first. So I just take my fondant. If it's too big, you use it. Okay, so now you see what done. So I'm just going to paint it, okay? This is my brown color. Chocolate, but you can use any brown. Just a drop. So let me put my vodka first. This vodka. You can make it of edible spirits. I'm just going to put. Okay, let me start with this shade. Okay, so I'm going to add again the darker one now. See? Good. I'm trying to be careful not to stain my green. Okay, so I think we're done. So we'll just leave it to dry. So our watermelon cake is ready. So this is the end result of our watermelon cake. We'll just leave it to dry, okay? I'll take a picture of it and I'll send it to the group. Okay, so now I'm going to be cutting our watermelon, okay? So you see what inside looks like, okay? Alright, so this is what you do. You just cut a part. So you see what we have? You see how real it looks? You see it? You see how real our watermelon looks? Okay? Alright, so that's that for this class. Okay, you see how real our watermelon cake looks. Okay, you see our seeds, which actually we made use, we're able to achieve by putting our raisins. Okay, that's our mixed fruit. Okay, so you see how really it looks. Now you see it's as if you use our knife to divide, just when you divide your real watermelon. That's because we actually baked in layers. Okay, you understand? So you see how really it looks. When you're doing anything, always study so that when you're done, you have a perfect result, like a realistic whatever you're doing, being handbag, being watermelon, being beans, being anything you're doing. Just make sure you stop whatever you want to do first before doing it, like you know what and what you need to give you that perfect effect, okay, that realistic effect. Okay, so that's all for this watermelon class. Once again, thank you so much for signing to this class. Please, I want you guys to do your practicals as essentially, because when you're having challenges where you're not getting, you're not understanding, you can ask questions, okay, and they will be answered. Okay, all right, do have a wonderful day. Okay, so I just want to take the bite of watermelon cake. Okay.